Here comes Rusty. Only those on the lead lap now will be able to come in this time. Schrader is in, so is Allison, Marlin, and Kyle Petty. Now, Marlin's problem was the car was too tight. They'll try to... these are the two crews that have been doing the best job on pit road today. The Wallace team on top and the Allison crew on the bottom. And they are both doing super. Oh, Allison, a great.
But Rusty Wallace is way down towards turn one. See, the position on the pit road makes a difference because Rusty drives out in front of Davey.
Rusty will be able to get out ahead of Davey and Kyle.
Kyle Petty's going to come out third.
Ken Schrader, who came in second, is still on the jack down in turn one.
NASCAR official held them up there momentarily until the field could get back. 17.31 for Davey's crew on the pit stop. Good stop. Well, while we're under caution, we'll get a commercial break out of the way here at the First Union 400 at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Still under caution at North Wilkesboro, ESPN Speed World coverage of the First Union 400. Well, Davey Allison had a 17.5 second pit stop, and rather a 17.31, and Rusty's crew had a 17.5 second pit stop.
Now, if Rusty had been, his crew had been a couple of seconds slower, he would be second place to Davey Allison. And I tell you what, passing on these short tracks, as you've seen today, is very difficult.
He went into the pits in first place, and he's come out in first place. And here is an interesting statistic for me. Look at this. Already in the first 7 races, he has led more laps this season than in all of 92. John?
Well, you know, walking up and down pit road, watching the tire changes this afternoon, most of the teams are using sticker tires, brand new tires, but not Davey Allison. They are using scuff tires, tires that have got 2 laps on them. And Larry McReynolds says they have been very consistent for them all day long. So we might see Davey contend for the win. In fact, one of the crew people came up just a minute ago and said, hey, this is just like last year in reverse.
Here comes the field off corner number 4. They get the green flag, and we go back to racing on lap 309.
Boy, Ernie Irvin went out quick around Rick Wilson to get on the outside of him to follow Davey. Ernie was down on the inside where the lap cars were supposed to be.
Looked like he's going to try to pass Davey on the outside, didn't he? I thought so, too.
Rusty's jumped out to a pretty good lead over Davey, but Davey closes in now as he has cleared the traffic.
You know, one thing's going to happen in this race. Pontiac has won 2, Ford has won 2, and Chevrolet has won 2 of the 6 races so far, so this will break the tie as far as wins, as far as manufacturers are concerned.
Yeah, that battle is as good as the points battle among the drivers.
And right now we've got Fords and Pontiacs in the first 4 spots.
They turned a lap a little more than 114.5 miles an hour last time. 114.6.
Wow.
You compare that now with a 117.6 that was the new track record set in qualifying by Dale.
And Dale Jarrett just stopped. Something happened to his engine or something.
Yeah, he didn't stop, but boy, he slowed dramatically.
He's trying to get to the pits.
Jerry, what's the problem?
Dale just radioed said I got a bad vibration. Bad vibration. So he's going to slow it and bring it down pit road. Probably the engine, guys. Could be a long day.
Boy, he did create a log jam there on the backstretch. Everybody survived it, but boy, he got off, or the car quit running on him, and everybody had to get on the brakes to avoid running into the back.
Yeah, we're coming off turn 2, and we can see how slow Dale Jarrett is. And Rick Wilson almost ran, he did run the back of him twice, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I saw a puff of smoke from that car, I think, so let's see what they do. The car on the pit road, and it appears as if they're going to put it behind the wall, Jerry, right?
Well, they're pushing it down pit road. I grabbed Jimmy Maycar. Jimmy, what's the problem? Looks like something happened to the motor. He just said it started vibrating real bad, and looks like a little bit of oil running out of the bottom. Something must have happened to the motor. That's a tough break for Dale Jarrett. Jimmy Maycar, the team headed back to the garage area. His day is over.
Yeah, Dale had run in the top 10 just about all race long, but now the Interstate Battery Chevy is behind the wall. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th here. Running nose to tail.
Sterling Marlin in 5th, Terry Labonte in 6th, Ricky Rudd in 7th, Darrell Waltrip 8th, and Morgan Shepherd 9th. Just how many cars are in the battle?
I felt for Terry Labonte just a little bit. The Kellogg's Cornflake Chevrolet, they pointed towards this race. They felt like this was a race that they could win. They built a car for this racetrack, came up and tested a couple of times. They made pit stops here. And yesterday afternoon, they blew the engine with 4 laps of practice. In that last hour, the happy hour, they only got 4 laps of practice. And really was disappointing.
Jerry?
And Benny, you know, as you mentioned about Terry Labonte, they came here with 3 race cars and tested for 3 days. They practiced pit stops. They ran long runs. They ran short runs. They changed cars. They changed tires. Pete Wright on that crew and worked pointing towards this race. They knew Terry liked this racetrack, but it's all going to come up a little bit short today.
Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip are battling for position. Waltrip to the inside of Ricky, but Rudd holds him off for the moment. We'll continue with our live coverage from North Wilkesboro as Rusty Wallace is looking for his 3rd win of the '93 season. Rusty Wallace leads the First Union 400 at the end of 323 laps. And his advantage is about 88/100ths of a second over Davey Allison. Kyle Petty's almost 2 seconds behind. Schrader a little over 3, and Marlin is 5 seconds behind in 5th position.
And folks, you won't believe it, but Bob Jenkins does that himself. I mean, with a little computer here, he hits the button to get those numbers. And Bob,
What do you mean you won't believe that?
I mean, I can't believe that you're doing a great job.
Something that involves numbers, usually I have problems with.
Exactly.
Since it's just hitting a button, why it's pretty easy.
Well, this battle continues here with Sterling Marlin running in 5th place, Terry Labonte in 6th, Ricky Rudd there in 7th place, Morgan Shepherd right behind him in 8th place.
And we see that Rudd and Morgan Shepherd disposed of Darrell Waltrip and went up and caught this group.
These guys look like they're tied together with a chain almost. Now Labonte gets inside Marlin on the front stretch. Labonte won this race back in 1988. He won the fall race in '87.
Swing throw for Junior Johnson, I believe. Right.
Yes, he did win the race with Junior Star.
5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right here.
There's Darrell, you can see him back there. This car doesn't seem to be working quite as good now as it was a little bit earlier. Might be a little bit tight, but as they run on, that might work to his favor. Here's Shepherd going up on the outside of Ricky Rudd. Hey, look at that. Made a good run, got a bite off of that turn. Rudd's going to race him into turn 3, but Shepherd just drives her right on in there.
Yep.
He made that look pretty easy on the outside.
Yeah.
Sterling Marlin, by the way, has picked up the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, but it appears as if his chance to win his first NASCAR Winston Cup event, well, the chances aren't as good as they were a while ago because he was leading this race and dominating it for a while. Now back to 5th, and there is the leader, Rusty Wallace. There's the 52 car.
Jimmy Means.
Now, Hurley Limo is on the quarter panel there in the back, but on the front of it is another interesting sponsor story.
Race Fans Incorporated, which is just a group of race fans, and they're interested in getting new members to their club. There's an 800 number on the back of the car. You can read it, and they'd be happy to have you join up, and they do. Their funds go into helping Jimmy Means in a sponsorship form.
And the administrative fee is, I mean, there is a small administrative fee for that, but I don't think it's anything substantial at all.
No.
I talked to those people back in, and look at Morgan. He's passed the 5 on the outside. Now he's passed the 14 on the outside.
Now Ricky Rudd looks up there and said, hey, wait a minute, there's something going on here. I got passed up there. Why don't I try to do it?
There's the last lap, 109.8, and the comparison between that and the pole speed.